Olá, bonjour. Welcome to my presentation on Anne Haas Dyson. Here's a picture of Anne so you can see how she looks like. Very pretty. On my second slide, I'm going to be talking about Anne Dyson's biography. So Anne Haas Dyson, she was born in Texas, United States. She's a former teacher of young children. Dyson received her Bachelor of Science degree at the University of Wisconsin. After that, she received her master's degree in curriculum and instruction, and after that, she took a PhD in education from the University of Texas. Dyson is now an associate of the American Educational Research Association. Currently, Dyson is a professor in the College of Education at the University of Illinois. Here is Dyson's first book. In 1984, she published her first book along with her friend and collaborator Celia Janishi. This book was titled Language Assessment in the Early Years, and since this first publication, Dyson has published over 12 books along with Celia Janishi and with other collaborators from her university. Dyson lists of books, so here you can see a few of her books. The number 5 on the case, Approaches to Language and Literacy Research. I found a PDF of this book and it's attached to my presentation. You can see on the slide that I'm going to show you later on. You can just click on the link and go to this book, and I have it open here. So it's on the case, Approaches to Language and Literacy Research. So the whole book is here in PDF, 161 pages, so you can read this great book at your own time. So continue here with her list of books. So she has other books that she wrote, all of them on cultural diversity and language, learning, writing. Those are her two first publications. In 1989, she published multiple Worlds of Child Writers, Friends Learning to Write, and then in 1993, she published Social Worlds of Children Learning to Write. Dyson's career. So Dyson began teaching early in her life and has taught all of her adult life. She started by teaching Mexican-American children in a very poor and needy community in El Paso. After that, she taught adults in an English academy, migrants, preschoolers, and bilingual first graders in public schools. Dyson's career at university began at the University of Georgia, where she was an assistant professor during the years of 1981 to 1985. Dyson worked in the Department of Language Education. In 1984, Dyson moved to the University of California, and she started working in the Division of Language, Literacy, and Culture as a visiting assistant professor. After that, she became an assistant professor, an associate professor, and finally, in 1999, she became a professor. In 2002, Dyson relocated to the Department of Teacher Education at Michigan State University. Currently, Dyson is a professor in curriculum and instruction at the University of Illinois. Dyson teaches adults at university level. However, as she mentioned, her heart and goals are deeply rooted in her identifying her as a teacher of the young. Teaching in an education program gives Dyson the opportunity to share her passion for the young children with future teachers. Dyson's research. Her research throughout her career has always been focused on the study of early childhood literacies from a social-cultural perspective. Dyson has done several ethnographic researches to examine children's writing, more specifically on story making. Dyson's studies are mostly done on primary grades children in urban schools with culturally diverse populations over the course of a year or more. So she really likes to develop a research where she can observe those students from more than a year to see their progress. their progress. As she stated, my research focuses on language and literacy development in the early childhood years. I use qualitative and social-linguistic research procedures to examine written language used from children's points of view, from within their own social lives. That's a very interesting research. On the Case. So the book that I talked about, On the Case, and that we saw the PDF here. So in this book that she wrote, again in partnership with her best friend Celia Janisch, in this book she examines the lack of comprehensive sources of information about different research approaches in the literacy field. This book aims to support investigation into teaching and learning the basics in childhood spaces and the exploration of how young English language learners talk their way into print. So it's a very, very interesting context. So here's the PDF. So if you click here, you're going to be sent to the PDF copy of this book. Dyson's teaching philosophy. Dyson has always made every possible effort to engage students in their own interests and at the same time supporting them to develop common skills. As she mentioned, as a teacher and a researcher, I think intellectual, political, and moral issues of teaching and learning are best understood and grappled with when they are embodied in everyday human experience of teachers and students in and out of school. She said that she believes teachers immersed in a very human context of classroom life must also see the larger issues implicit in their daily decisions. She also said that she identifies as a teacher of the young and not so young in the kind of engagement, and she requires that from her students. There's nothing lonelier than standing in front of a class when I'm not sure they are intellectually with me, and nothing is more satisfying than when we are all making progress together. Then teaching is its own reward. The next slide here, Dyson, she stresses the importance of unstructured playtime in preschool and kindergarten as a fundamental avenue for learning. And we have seen other authors pushing for that, for more time for unstructured playtime in schools. And that's a theme that has created a lot of debate. She says that the approach does not appreciate the role of play and imagination in child's intellectual development. Play is where children discover ideas, experience, and concepts and think about them and their consequences. This is where literacy and learning really begins. According to Dyson, kindergarten and preschool should be a place for children to experience play as intellectual inquiry before they become taken over by the tyranny of high-stakes testing. She states, I'm certainly not opposed to literacy in early grades, but the idea that we can eliminate play from the curriculum doesn't make sense. Kids don't respond well to sitting still in their desks and listening at that age. We all know that for sure, right? They need a simulation. We have to intellectually engage kids. We have to give them a sense of their own agency, their own capacity, and an ability to ask questions and solve problems. So we have to give them more open-ended activities that allow them to space they need to make sense of things. And that is so true. Here I selected a couple of videos taken from workshops and symposiums where Ann Dyson was the main speaker. If you go on YouTube and you type in Ann Dyson's name, you're going to see several workshops and other symposiums where she was the main speaker, and you can see the way that she's so passionate about literacy, about language, and about educating the young. So I selected those two here, and we can just take a look at them really quickly. So there's one here. This is Place Place of Childhoods in School Writing Programs, a Matter of Ethics. So here she's the main speaker.
Obligated to respond to him. So this exchange of a toy sheep and a pine cone became for him a metaphor for the poems he would push through publishers' fences to...
I really enjoy listening to her voice and to her story. So if you want to take a look at this video, it's 1 hour and 4 minutes, but it's worth it. And then the second one that I picked is this Literacy Research Symposium. This is from 2013. So you can also listen to her.
So I'm sitting by 5-year-old Jamal, and she kind of comes over to us.
And I'll let you go back to those videos and listen to her stories. They are very good stories. This one is also 1 hour and 24 minutes, but like I said, it's worth it. Okay, so for my next slide here, I have my references where I took all the videos and information about Anne. Another page here, continued, and a little bit more here. So I hope you enjoyed my presentation, and I hope you take the time to also look at the videos and to take a look at her book as well. It's, like I said, the book is a very interesting one on the case. So I'll start reading this book as well, and maybe we can share some ideas. So thank you so much, and I look forward for your feedback on my presentation. Thank you. Bye.